Thank you all for coming today. If we could, we'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Would you come up and give us a prayer, please?
Dear Heavenly Father, we ask humbly to ask for your protection for all our men and women who are serving our country. Give them unflinching courage to defend our honor and dignity for the rights of all who are in peril by injustice and evil. Protect our land from the enemy within. I also want to include in my prayer the poor people, California, and others who have suffered from the hurricane. Lord, they've lost everything. Give them the strength to go through these trials and tribulations. I personally could not feel the emptiness of not having anything, having all my possessions, everything being lost. And so we do ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
I just want to welcome everybody. Thank you for being here. We're doing things a little bit different today. Everyone in our community has been invited to our meeting because it's a little special meeting. So we're not going to follow our normal Veterans Club routine. We will not be doing a finance officer report, nor will it be the reading of the minutes. If anybody doesn't trust Nora Jean, come up and talk to her. Good luck.
It's too late.
Good luck. Where we're going to start is we have Chief Paul Hasselmeyer, the Fire Chief and Public Safety Director. If you come up and say a few words, please, Chief.
Good afternoon. I can't take any questions today because we're on a tight schedule, but next time. But this is going to be a great presentation. I know a few things have changed, but Tunnel to Towers Foundation, Stephen Siller went back in on 9/11, off duty, went back in and lost his life. And I'm sure they're going to explain a lot of things of how Tunnel to Towers Foundation started, formed, and all the great things they've done across the country, not only taking into consideration those that struggled from 9/11 and the FDNY and NYPD. Also, they do a lot of great work with the Gold Star families and rebuilding homes and helping with homes of families, of firefighters and police officers that die in the line of duty. So, great organization. It's worth the listen, and I certainly endorse the great work they do. So, I encourage you to do the same.
Thank you, Chief. We also have two people from Gus Bilirakis' office. We have Karen Mayer and Colby Dawson. If you would come up, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Karen May. I'm Director of Strategic Operations for Congressman Gus Bilirakis, and Kobe Dawson here is one of our Green and Gold District aides. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm sorry for strolling in on such short notice. We just had some different urgent matters and change of shift today. But I do bring greetings from Congressman Bilirakis. Wanted to let you know he has a special relationship and a special place in his heart for Tunnel to Towers. And for those of you who may be here today to celebrate for your loved ones, or those of you who maybe are past recipients or future recipients, there's really no better organization than Tunnel to Towers to step up and help first responders and veterans. We recognize and honor the strength and courage that you have for being in this position and going this extra mile. And so thank you for what you do for veterans and first responders. And just know that you have this love and support and all that you do. So it's an honor to be here today. Thank you.
We also have Joe Wolf with us today. Joe, you want to say a few words? Bob told me you wanted to.
Actually, no, but I also endorse Tunnel to Towers. As you know, I'm a retired lieutenant from the NYPD, and they've helped some of my friends, actually. I know a lot about the organization. It's one of those few organizations that you can really trust what they're doing with your money, as opposed to a lot of other organizations. So I don't want to take up any more time, but I just wanted to give that endorsement. Thanks, Bob.
The other thing we'd like to do today is, this is one of the first days that our auxiliary is all going to be here. If you ladies would all stand up.
Yeah. Stand up, ladies.
Our Wellington auxiliary members. Thank you. They do a lot for us, and they're going to do a lot more for us. They just don't know that yet. The other thing is we wanted to mention is we do have some of our fundraisers will be coming up in the very near future. So keep it in mind, mark your calendars. We have Tri-Trivia coming up March 22nd at 7 p.m. We also have Name That Tune coming up on May 17th. And further down the road in September, on September 6th, we have Majority Rules. So again, this helps us raise the money that we give to the organizations that we're supporting. One other thing is Honor Guard. We need members. If anybody wants to volunteer, see Bob, he'd be happy to talk to you. Do we have any new members here today? None that we know of, okay. Is there anybody we need to know about for a sick call? Anybody that's a member that we don't know right now that may need to? Okay, good. I like that. We are looking for new members for the Wellington Veterans Organization. We have applications here. Also, if anybody wants to sign up for the auxiliary, we have applications here for that too. Bob, your turn.
One more elected official that we neglected to introduce is Amy Blackburn. She's a tax collector. Would you like to stand up, please? Would you like to say anything?
I'm sorry.
I didn't know.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Amy Blackburn. I am your new tax collector. Don't boo me. I just want to say it's an honor to be welcomed here today, and thank you for the invitation. It's an honor to hear about Tunnels to Towers, and it's just an incredible organization. My dad is a veteran, my brother, I have a lot of family that are, and I'm just honored to be a part of this. So thank you very much.
She doesn't get the money. And she's not responsible for how much we pay.
That's right.
Oh, just one other thing with Tunnel to Towers. In the 1960s, I was stationed in Lower Manhattan for a while and actually watched the towers being built. Never in my life did I ever think I'd see them come down. But as a resident of New Jersey, I was pretty close when they did come down. So never thought that that would happen within my lifetime, that I'd see it built and then see it come down. Anyway, it's a great organization.
I just have one quick story how this whole meeting has changed. We originally had an ambassador from Tunnels to Towers that was supposed to be here to present all her information about T2T. She called me up Monday morning, sick. So we kind of scrambled, and we ended up getting kind of lucky. We're going to be doing a Zoom call with Andrew McClure. He is the Senior Manager of Development for T2T. So he's very high level in the company. So we're going to have a Zoom call with him right now.
I'm good to go? You're good to go. Well, thank you very much, and thank you for those kind words about the foundation. It's really greatly appreciated. Our rise has been monumental, but it doesn't happen without the support and generosity from our donors throughout the country. A few alluded to Stephen, and I will tell his story now. So, in the wake of the 9/11 attacks, I mean, if anybody, I'm sure you all remember it, but Americans came together, and from all across the country, the support and fundraising, it was one of a kind. It was you know, as horrible as the incident was, and the time was, and the loss was so great, people came together, and the support was magnificent. But so over the years, most of those 9/11 foundations successfully achieved their missions and ended their operations, which is understandable. Tunnel to Towers considers it a duty, honor, and privilege to continue to give back to injured service members and first responders and the families that are left behind by both fallen first responders and service members. And we do have some other programs as well, which I'll get to in a little bit. And the foundation honors the sacrifice of firefighter Stephen Siller, who laid down his life to save others on September 11th, 2001. And I'll briefly share his story of bravery and heroism. So Stephen was assigned to the FDNY Squad 1. It's one of the department's special operation command units. And he had actually finished his overnight shift and was on his way to play golf with his three brothers when he received word over the scanner that a plane had hit the North Tower of the World Trade Center. And he answered the call. He headed back to Squad 1. When he arrived, he found that his unit had already responded. But he was relentless. He opted to grab his gear, put it in his personal vehicle, and he headed towards Manhattan. He drove his truck to the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel. When he got there, he discovered that only emergency vehicles were permitted to enter. But still, determined to carry out his duty, he abandoned the vehicle, and he did what heroes did. He geared up. He grabbed his helmet, the boots, the coat, the pant, the gloves, the breathing apparatus. They say about 60 pounds of firefighter gear, and took off on foot through the tunnel. And the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel is the longest continuous underwater vehicular tunnel in North America. So it was a distance, it's a little over 2 miles. And of course, while we were sprinting away from downtown New York, firefighters, police officers, EMTs were running towards it. And he joined the other members of Squad 1 who had already crossed they actually crossed the Brooklyn Bridge. And 12 members of his unit lost their lives, him being one of them, while taking part in what is the greatest rescue and evacuation effort the country has ever seen. And Stephen's remains were never recovered. He left behind his wife, he was 35, he left behind his wife and 5 young children and 6 siblings. He was the youngest of 7. But the story doesn't end there. So despite the tragedy, the darkness, the family was determined to bring light and hope to those in need, and doing it in Stephen's memory. And that the Tunnel to Towers Foundation was born. We honor his we actually honor his memory every day of the year by making sure that the mission is carried out. And on the last Sunday of every September, this started in 2002, we paid homage to Stephen by retracing the footsteps that he took through the tunnel to the towers. And the first year we had the run, it's estimated that 1,200 people took part in the annual Tunnel to Towers run, which became the annual Tunnel to Towers run. Last September, we had approximately 40,000 people walk, run, or wheel their way through the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel, and that number grows each year. It's become one of the country's greatest annual events. And it doesn't happen, again, as I said earlier, it doesn't happen without sponsorship and generosity from donors, citizens throughout the country. It enables us to build or renovate smart homes for catastrophically injured service members, provide mortgage-free homes to Gold Star families, to pay off mortgages held on homes of families that are left behind by first responders who have lost their lives in the line of duty, and to build a one-of-a-kind village like we're building in Pasco County right now. In Land O'Lakes, we have a really remarkable, amazing, there's so many superlatives I could attach to it, but it's called the Let Us Do Good Village. We were gifted 100 acres of land approximately 5 years ago, and the foundation took that land and we're building a village. We're building over 90 homes, and those will comprise or be occupied by our recipients who are either catastrophically injured, the Gold Star family, families left behind by first responders, and now we've taken it to another level, and we are leading the charge of eradicating homelessness among the veterans community in the United States. And we're honored to say that we've taken about 10,000 previously homeless veterans off the streets in our first 2 years. And we're not close to doing that. They say there's approximately 50,000 veterans that are homeless in the United States. And this foundation doesn't believe there should be any. These men and women, they're revered. Especially after 9/11. If you enlisted after 9/11, it wasn't a question of whether or not you were going to Iraq or Afghanistan. It was a question of when. They enlisted anyway. They enlisted to defend, to honor the United States of America, and we have, in our view, it's our duty and honor to give back and to support these men and women and make sure that they live full lives. And there are reasons they're on the streets, and we're not simply giving them a place to stay overnight or a hot meal or a shower. Providing them with permanent or transitional housing in the form of really upscale apartment style living, but most importantly, the facilities that we're building for our previously homeless veterans have all of the comprehensive wraparound services to address their needs, whether it's drug and alcohol addiction counseling, PTSD counseling, help job placement, could be family separation. All of those services are available in our homeless veterans facilities. And these are being built all over the nation, and we will have one not too far from you in Bradenton in the next year or so. And it's making a significant difference in their lives. So far, we're really proud of the progress that we've made. It's a huge undertaking. It's the biggest undertaking we've, had thus far. But we don't stop until we're successful. And this is a significant issue, and it's being addressed. And couldn't do it without all our donors throughout the country. The village in Land O'Lakes, where we have, we already have, I would say, close to 40 homes built. Not all 40 are occupied because you have many people who don't want to live in a construction zone for a few years. But it's absolutely beautiful. And it's not just houses, it's a community. And the people who residing are now neighbors, and most of them have something in common. They suffered a loss, or they suffered an injury. And it's something to behold. And we're currently building an amenities center, which will have pickleball, it'll have a basketball court, gym, a pool, a theater, children's theater, a playhouse, pretty much everything you could ever imagine. And again, we want to make this the most special village in the world. It's just, it's unique. It's, as far as we know, it hasn't been done by anybody else. And we're really proud of it. And the state of Florida has been one of our top states in terms of donor engagement. So we appreciate all the help we get from the state of Florida. So honored to be here today. Glad that I can make this happen. Sorry that we don't have someone standing at the podium, but I'm pretty close to it. But lean over a little. But thank you so much. I appreciate it. And I'm here to answer.
Thanks, Andrew. We're set up to field questions. Anybody have any questions for Andrew? Otherwise, he could have just sent the video. So let's think of some questions. I have a question, sir. Could you explain how many of the $11 a month that I send to you every month, how much of that goes towards the organization and, of course, towards the administrative fees?
It's a perfect question, and it's usually the thing I close with. And it's probably the most important thing that a nonprofit does. It's being good stewards with your hard-earned dollars. 95% of everything that we spend goes directly to the cause. It's not a number that's common in nonprofits. It's something we work extremely hard at. It works smart, and we've done that. We've been very consistent with it. It's really, the key is discipline, and we've done a great job with that. So the answer is 95%.
Now, I know somebody's got a question out here. Somebody? Come on. There we go.
And here's the thing too, certainly share my information. If anybody thinks of something later on, they want to text me, email me, call me, whatever. I'm happy to engage at any time.
What percentage of veterans' businesses are involved in your organization?
Can you elaborate on that question? I was a little confused as to what you're asking.
I think what she's asking is what percentage of vendors do you use that are veteran organizations?
Veteran, I couldn't answer that. It's something that we're cognizant of. And we're always looking at synergy and how do the organizations that support us or that we utilize as vendors or suppliers, are they, do they have a correlation to police or the fire department or service members? And it's interesting when you look at our major sponsors, companies like the Home Depot, General Motors. These are companies that they make it their business to hire veterans and to have programs for veterans. And I can't think of enough. If you ever look up Home Depot and see what they're doing in communities around this country for veterans, it's off the charts. It's over since they started their Veterans Foundation. They've committed over $500 million to veterans causes, and it's so we want to be aligned with organizations like that. So I guess I don't have a percentage, but I can assure you that it's in the forefront of our mindset when we are working with vendors and working with our organizations that become sponsors for us. I wanted to add something, because you see it all the time. Unfortunately, you see it way too often, where a police officer in the United States is being killed in the line of duty. Our organization is in contact with that police department through a public information officer virtually overnight. And we want to see if that family is in need. And more often than not, we commit to paying off the mortgage held on that family's home immediately. And we've paid off over 1,200 mortgages throughout the country. You can imagine, you can imagine most of these families are very young, and their mortgage has a lot of years left and a lot of dollars left on it. We pay them out outright. So we satisfy the mortgage completely, taking away a significant burden, the most significant financial burden anybody has. Doesn't bring back a loved one. We just want to make their lives. It's all about the future and their children and having security. And can you imagine a family losing a husband or a wife who's a firefighter or a police officer and not knowing whether or not they're going to be able to keep their home? It's the last thing that you should be thinking of. So it's unfortunate. It seems like it's a weekly occurrence, or a police officer losing his life or her life, but we're there, and we're always going to be there. We've made that commitment to them.
I'd like to. Hello. I'd like to ask, what are you doing with the hotels in Texas that you're buying up for your organization?
Right, so I talked about that a little bit. Those are for our homeless veterans, previously homeless veterans. That's the best business model is taking a hotel, maybe passé, outdated, and the company wants to sell the unit. We purchased that, it's perfect bones for what we do. We gut it completely, we build, they're basically apartments, and with kitchenette, bedroom, bathroom, the whole deal, for the service member upstairs. And then downstairs, all the comprehensive services that I mentioned earlier in those offices. And those are either transitional or they're permanent. We never ask the service member to leave. If they want to live there the rest of their life, that's fine. Ideally, they get the help that they need. They're there for a year or so, and now they're back on their feet. They're in the job field. They're ready to get married. We want to make that kind of difference and turn their lives, help them regain that independence that they always had.
That was a fantastic question. I didn't know anything about that. Anybody else? Questions?
ahead, sir, but you use the term nonprofit now for tax purposes. Are you a 501c3 that our contributions are tax deductible?
100%. Yes, we are.
While you're at it, why don't you give them the address where they can look it up and send what they want to send?
Yeah, I mean, just go to our website. It's really simple. T2T.org. Tunnel to Towers. So it's the letter T, number 2, letter T.org.
Easy to remember, right? So we have 2 videos that we're going to show you when Paul's ready to play them. But any other questions? Oh,
Are you staying with us while we do the video? You are? Okay.
Enjoy them.
hold on 1 second. We have a question from our tax collector.
You had mentioned that if a fallen officer, you're in touch with their family within basically a 24-hour period. What about families of veterans that you're also helping? How can they receive your services?
I missed part of the question. Did you say families left behind from fallen service members?
Yes.
Yeah, so the Gold Star Family Program is put in place in 2017. We've gifted or paid off about 400 mortgages in that program, or we've provided a mortgage-free home to the Gold Star families. It's all on our site. We've had, that program has been extraordinary. I mean, these spouses are left behind with children, and they may live on a base, and they don't have a long time to stay. Or they may have a home already, and they need that mortgage paid off, and we take care of it right away. So we have advocates all throughout the country, military connections, and we have a full department that is just dedicated to Gold Star families.
Thank you for your service to those families.
A quick question. Do you only deliver your services to law enforcement, or is it all first responders?
All right, it doesn't look like we're going to get it back, but one last thing we wanted to tell them is that the Veterans Club is donating $1,000 to Tunnel to Tower. Another thing I just found out is we want to thank Stella and Chip Chipola for donating some money to the Veterans Club. Thank you. Stella, come on up. Stella? Oh, there you are. And as I tell Stella every now and then, her last name is easy to pronounce. It was my grandmother's name.
This $300 check is, and this is Gloria, she's my co-host. This is from the crafters, the Wellington Crafters. We have the art show, and we collected $300 to donate to the veterans.
Yes, if you don't walk away. Come on back. She's complaining I didn't kiss her.
I said, I'm gonna kiss.
She walked away too fast.
That's it. Oh yeah, raffles last.
Do you have anything else?
Raffles last, after the video.
After the videos.
Welcome everybody to the 12th annual Steven Silla Tunnel to Towers Run. This year bigger and better than ever.
Our foundation was started in honor of my brother, New York City firefighter Steven Silla, who on September 11, 2001, strapped 65 pounds of gear on his back and ran through the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel to the towers, where he gave up his life while saving others. Out here in the fields, I fight for my cause. I
an event that brings so many wonderful memories and so many sad memories. But the most important thing is that the Siller family and all of you have turned Stephen's sacrifice into something good, something lasting, something that will help our most important Americans, those who serve and fight and suffer for us.
Don't raise your eye. It's only teenage wasteland. Take my hand. It's life inside my fire. The fire eyes to my soul. The acceptance is here.
The Stephen Siller Tunnel to Towers Foundation is so proud and honored to serve American military heroes and first responders. Our Building for America Bravest programs construct specially adapted smart homes for our most catastrophically injured service members.
This has been a great adventure for me, and along the way we've had tons of support. And for me, if I had legs, I'd just make a team of runners, but I have wheels now, so I kind of feel a connection to my motorcycle riders out there.
These heroes need homes. These homes are designed for their specific injuries. We are committed to this mission. We invite you to join us. We are Building for America's Bravest.
Multiple weight MMA champion. September 1st, 2006, my Bradley fighting vehicle that I was riding in was hit with an IED while we were driving down the road in Iraq. The IED went to the bottom of my vehicle and hit our fuel tank. And the fuel tank basically was inches away from where I was sitting and covered me and my buddies who were in the vehicle with me in fuel, and instantly on fire. I lost my leg because when I escaped out of the top of the vehicle, I jumped off and couldn't see anything around me because my face was on fire. So when I landed, 10-foot jump, I couldn't brace myself for the landing. So when I hit, my leg broke. And I snapped my leg and I ended up with an amputation below my right knee. And then crazy thing, I rolled into a canal that was there that I didn't know was there, and it put the fire out.
Like my brother Rick has saved people and sacrificed so much that we can live a free and blessed life. The Tunnel to Towers Foundation aims to make sure the sacrifice of heroes like my brother Stephen and Rick are never forgotten. That's what brings me such great joy here today, that we're giving away the keys to a brand new smart home. Rick, this smart home is going to change your life. It will give you back some of your independence. It is our way to say thank you. We know you sacrificed so much. The sacrifice not only made by you, but the sacrifice was made by your family, your parents. When somebody serves this country, the whole family serves this country. It's not just the person who serves.
You're moving into a great neighborhood, and I told him before, I'm glad he listened to his wife and wanted to come to Festival, which everybody likes to come there. So we're happy to have him. Well, I have a little proclamation from the town of Vestal to Rick Garrish. Now, therefore, I, John Schaefer, supervisor of the town of Vestal, do hereby call upon all citizens of the town of Vestal and all other present to recognize and acknowledge this day, May 23rd, 2019, as Rick Garrish Day in the town of Vestal. I set my hand and seal in the town of Vestal on this 23rd day of May. Rick, thank you very much for all your service.
Can't believe it.
When I first walked into the house, a little bit of overwhelming feeling for me because I just walked out of all that love from all those people outside, and then I got to see the labor, the fruits of the labor that everybody put in to this house. The last last 8-9 months of hard work.
I can't even believe my eyes. So beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
This is insane. My life's gonna be changed in the way that I'm gonna have more independence in general. It's gonna come to the point where I'm not even thinking about things anymore, I'm just doing them. Where now you have to think about what you're gonna do, how you're gonna do it, and eventually I think I'm gonna get to the point where I don't have to think about those things. I'm just gonna be able to do those things.
It's really important that we're here where Rick can be in his wheelchair, and he gets sores on his leg all the time, and he needs to be in his wheelchair a lot, and so it's really important that he'll be able to move around and hopefully heal his leg better, because often he gets wounds, on his leg. So it's going to be really great that he can be in his wheelchair more here.
When I first came home, I lived with my parents, and they live in a split level, I believe. So when you walk in, it's stairs up and stairs down. And I am in my wheelchair. I was like, honestly, I should probably be in my wheelchair right now. I don't like being in my wheelchair. It's just a pain in the butt, getting in and out of vehicles and stuff. So I almost try to stay on my leg too much. I have wounds on my knee right now that I should not be walking around. So just the fact that we'll have the smart home that I can get around in, maybe it'll make me feel more comfortable, and I'll be able to let my knee take a rest and heal. Now that we're in here, I don't have to worry about that kind of stuff.
So the mortgage-free home is really, really just amazing for our family. We can't believe it. We can't believe what Tunnels to Towers has done for our family, and we're just very blessed and very grateful.
Financial situations are one of the most anxiety-driven things that people deal with. And when you don't have to worry about that, you can worry about a lot of other things. The fact that we don't have to worry about a mortgage on a home, it's going to make us be able to concentrate on much more important things in life. What I was feeling today was everything. Like, there was no little piece that I can even pick out. I can name 30 different things. It seriously was everything. Like, I was nervous. I don't get nervous. I was emotional. I don't get that emotional. I said I wasn't gonna cry. And before we even got to the house, I was crying in the truck, like halfway up the road. I'm like, and I hadn't even seen the house, because in the end, it's kind of crazy to think it has nothing to do with the house. It has to do with people who do amazing things for other people, and the house just seems to be the product of that amazing thing. I never thought I'd be a motivational speaker. I never in my life thought I'd be doing what I'm doing today. When I was in high school, terrified of public speaking, absolutely terrified of it. And now, I've been in front of over 1 million kids. It's what I love to do. I'm Army Sergeant Rick Garish. In September 2006, my Bradley fighting vehicle was hit with an IED, and I suffered 60% burns and a right leg below knee amputation. Tunnels to Towers have built me a smart home, and it's gonna let me live my life more independently. Please donate $11 a month to help them build other smart homes by calling 1-844-BRAVEST or visiting tunnel2towers.org.
Anyway, so we want to thank Mark for helping us out. Thank you. I want to thank Joe for taping all of this for us so other people can see it. I want to thank all of you for coming and listening to the presentation today. We're going to do it, Richard. Richard's waving his ticket at me like, do you have the winner, Richard? We're going to have the drawing.
While they're drawing, in answer to the question, it's obvious from this video that they handle all first responders and veterans.
Yes.
I also want to thank our fire chief for coming today.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Colby and Carey from Gus Bilirakis' office. And our new tax collector. What we're gonna do is we're gonna have Mark pull a ticket for us. So you can blame him, not me. The winner is 506-2487. Everybody looking?
Just me.
No, I was gonna say check yours.
We got bad news for you. I got the ticket. So the good news for Tunnels to Towers, because I want to donate that 20 to Tunnels to Towers.
Thanks again for everybody for coming out. This is the end of our meeting. Thank you very much.